Hey guys, checking in here with a couple fighters today. I'm here with Nick Fekete and John Gettle. Nick is well versed in wrestling. Nick's going to talk about wrestling first, and then he's going to show you with John some techniques that are translatable for self-defense. So let Nick talk to you guys a little bit more about wrestling and his background. I'll let John introduce himself as well, and then we'll get right into some of the stuff of how it applies to self-defense.
Okay, hi, yeah, my name is Nick Fekete. Grew up wrestling. I wrestled for 20 years. I had 10 MMA fights, 8 professional fights, and I was some credentials that I have. I was an All-American at Michigan State University. I was on the U.S. National Freestyle Wrestling team for a couple of years. Resident athlete at the U.S. Olympic Training Center. I was a wrestling coach, the inaugural wrestling coach at Randy Couture's gym, Extreme Couture in Las Vegas. And, like I said before, I had 8 professional fights as well, too. So I'm looking forward to showing you guys some techniques here, wrestling techniques that will translate to real life situations.
Awesome. Glad to have you on the channel. John?
I'm John Gettle. I'm a pro fighter. Lived in Vegas 6 years. Purple belt under Robert Drysdale. Been doing jiu-jitsu for about 10 years. Me and Nick are going to show you guys some practical things for takedowns in a self-defense situation.
Awesome. Thanks, John. Glad to have you on the channel. Let's get over here and we'll show you guys a little bit. Nick, you want to kind of preface what you're going to be doing, what you're going to be showing?
So basically, wrestling, takedowns, grappling, these are all mano-a-mano situation things. It's very difficult for me to wrestle 2 people at once if it's a mano-a-mano situation, and I know that there's no threat of attack from other angles, multiple people, then I would engage in a takedown, okay, or takedown defense, something in regards to mano-a-mano situation. But if it's a group situation, if there's 4 other people and I'm, going to fight John, we're going to engage with one another. My go-to probably wouldn't be a takedown, because all that's going to happen is I'm going to get pounded on from both sides, from my rear, and God knows what's going to happen in a situation like that.
That's awesome that you say that. I also, all of us, 3 of us are in complete agreement. First of all, don't fight if you don't have to fight. Get out of there if you can.
Sure, absolutely.
If you're fighting and it's a bunch of guys, don't go to the ground. And then, if it's one-on-one, then obviously it's something you can go to the ground. Will you tell us a little bit about kind of what you were telling me earlier about Greco-Roman wrestling versus different kinds of wrestling?
So we have American, right now we have American folk style wrestling, also known as collegiate wrestling, also known as scholastic wrestling in different areas of the country. And then you have the 2 Olympic styles, freestyle and Greco-Roman. Now, freestyle wrestling and American folk style wrestling they're all body attacks, meaning that I can do leg attacks. I can grab the legs, I can grab the ankles, and things like that. Greco-Roman wrestling, the second Olympic style, you're not allowed to touch the legs at all with your hands or your legs. So all the takedowns focus on grabbing around the waist and up, head and arm takedowns, arm throws, those kinds of things. So, it's an interesting disparity because the techniques are very varied in regards to all the different styles.
Okay, awesome. And which one would you say would be the most relatable as far as for if you had to do a takedown in the street or for modern self-defense?
So I would say, and this is when I taught the guys at Extreme Couture, when I first entered mixed martial arts and I was teaching guys about takedowns and takedown defense. First of all, I would focus on techniques that go from the knees to the torso, to the upper torso here. Okay, so if I'm going to grab a single leg or a double leg around the knees, all the way up to here. Okay, any of these positions here, I would not turn my back to a guy unless you had it for sure. You're an expert here. I would not turn my back to somebody in a head and arm situation, or I wouldn't come to an arm throw here, because God knows what happens when you could grab a choke, all sorts of things could happen. Also, the other thing I wouldn't do, if I didn't have to, would be to hit my knees on the ground, okay? I would not, take a shot at someone on pavement and smash my kneecap in the middle of trying to grab a double. I'll try to, I would try to keep my knees from touching the ground, okay? So if I'm gonna shoot a penetration shot here, he throws a punch at me, I would try to stay above there.
That's pretty awesome that you say that, because one of the things that we talk about in some of my other videos is environmental weapons, and something that's really easy to remember or also easy to forget, but important to remember, is kind of the concrete. And you just mentioned how you don't hit your knees on the concrete when you do a takedown. And if you train in the gym every day and you're training on a mat, that's something that you may not think about. So it's really cool that you mentioned that, because, you know, that leads into as well something that you have to deal with that's, you know, not mano a mano. And I really appreciate you, you know, both of you guys, well-respected fighters, you know, craftsmen in your trade, talking, you know, telling the differences here between, you know, how, you know, one is a sport and one is a you know, kind of a self-defense situation, which something some of us may have to deal with or may not, but not everything translates over, and that's interesting to know that.
Yeah.
Let's do some takedowns. Yeah. Awesome.
Okay.
This is what everybody wants to see.
Sure. So you have there's only 2 leg attacks in wrestling. When I say leg attacks, it's called a penetration step or a shot. The old school way was to call it a shoot, you know. You can call it, you know, however you want to call it. You have a double leg and a single leg, because you can only grab 2 legs, or you can only grab 1 leg. Okay?
Okay.
So let's say it's a situation where I know, you know, I see, you know, I'm sober, I'm in a good state of mind. I know there's not a crowd of people coming to fight me. It's a mano-a-mano situation where I'm going to.
I don't have 5 of my friends ready to jump in
Exactly.
on the fight, which is really the problem.
Okay.
When you're in a street fight, you need to be aware of your opponent and what your opponent has with him. Because if your opponent has a group of friends, you do not want to go to the ground.
Exactly.
And it's hard to remember in the heat of a battle, you know, when someone attacks you, but you really don't want to go to the ground. You want to try to stay on your feet so that way you can move and escape.
Sure. Yes.
One of my buddies, Javier Torres, says the Mexican judo comes out, but you don't know if he has a gun, you don't know if he has a knife.
There you go.
You gotta run, you know, if you want to be on your feet.
Yeah. So, okay, I like that.
That's a good point. Mexican judo.
Yeah. So, double leg takedown. I see a punch come. I know the punch is gonna come. So I lower my level only enough that I need to. Okay, I don't need to go all the way to the ground. I don't need to hit my knee to the ground. I just enough to get out of the way. Okay, and John knows how to throw a punch. He threw a correct punch there. You know, people that are getting into bar fights aren't usually going to throw punches that are, you know, they're not going to throw down the pipe. They're not going to throw it in good boxing form. They're going to telegraph it from right here. At this point, I shoot my head to the center, into the chest. You can call this a Japanese double or a high double, but I have the momentum going. I'm pushing off my back foot and my front foot too at the same time. My head comes to the chest. And I'm aiming for the back of both knees. And I'm going to use my momentum to run him into the ground. And I'm going to do it slowly. Okay, so the punch came, I'm in, I'm just going down. Okay, and when I land in control. Okay, what I mean by control is I have to put a hand on the mat, 2 hands on the mat, because if I land out of control, you know, I could flip over, John could sweep me over, and the next thing you know, here I am. I don't want to be there. And if you're well versed in grappling and jiu-jitsu, that might be an okay thing, but we want to stay in control positions, in my opinion.
That's awesome.
So, Japanese double, high double, I see the punch coming, boom, head in the center, I attack the back of both legs, and I just run it down. Okay, I land in control. Alright, and then, you know, we start getting into grappling techniques, and I want to get to the side here. I want to get around his legs. Okay, I want to get in a position where I can control and subdue him. But no, that's a different topic. That's
okay.
More John's specialty. Okay, so he just took me down. Double
leg takedown.
We're crashing.
So once we're on the ground, like you said, you want to land in control, and I will be in some agreement. Like you want to have your hands in the mat, but I like to try to put a lot of my weight on my opponent's body, so that way it keeps him under control. If my hands are out here and I have too much weight, it gives him a lot of room to move around, and now he can manipulate that. But I'll try to keep as much weight, shoulder, knees to the hips.
So would another way I could say that, John, be you're trying to limit the amount of space between you and your opponent?
Correct.
Okay.
So when I want to gain control, I want to be like water on a rock. I want to be covering him completely, consuming him. So when you go to get control, there's a knee. If you look around here, you can see my knees in the hip. I have another knee in the armpit. My head, I have his head control. My shoulder, pressure near his chin, and my head's going to stay close to his head. Grabbing my hands really tight. I want to stay in full control of him.
Stay there and let me show what you're doing with your hands. Okay. And you never lace your fingers together. I know as far as in MMA goes, or in Muay Thai goes, you never lace your fingers together in a clinch like that. Is that the same with?
Very similar. I guess it would be like spinning a hand around.
Okay.
A gable grip.
So that's exactly.
We call it a gable grip.
So that's exactly
wrestling.
what we do with a Muay Thai clinch. Is the same hand position. Okay.
Very
awesome.
similar.
Awesome.
Yeah. One big thing about controlling somebody on the ground is shoulder pressure to the chin. Wherever the head goes, the body goes. So if I push his head that direction, it's going to make it very uncomfortable for him, and he's not going to be willing to turn into me. It's going to control his head and where he's moving.
Okay.
So that's a good point to keep in mind.
So what are you looking for from there? You're looking for submissions at that point, or?
So first, on the ground, you want to have control before you're going for submissions.
Okay.
When a submission presents itself, you obviously would take it. But now, once I'm in control, he could be trying to hit me, but it doesn't matter. I'm so close to his head, his punches aren't going to mean anything. If he's hitting me as hard as he can, he can really hit me as hard as he can, and this hand might come up, but if I can go pin it, I can look for an arm.
He really has no way to develop power in his punch. He's fighting against gravity, plus he has no way to use torque of his body, anything like that.
No way to develop power in that arm.
Okay.
So it'll hit you. It'll just be like a really annoying bee sting.
Okay. And we already covered several times that you don't want to go to the ground if there's multiple attackers, but I think it's really cool that to be well versed and to so we can impart a little bit of this knowledge to the fan base that you guys are here to share. So. Again, we can't cover everything in one day. I think we've covered a lot as far as that goes. Is there anything else that you guys wanted to share that stuck out in your mind, or anything you were thinking about, Nick?
Yeah, maybe just one alternative off of the double leg. The double leg would be the primary go-to.
Okay.
For me, obviously there's a lot to show. We could show defensive side, but off of the double leg, let's say. The guy's pretty athletic. Maybe he has some training in the past. Mostly, if he's trained in martial arts, most likely he's not going to be engaging in a bar fight or self-defense. You never know.
There's some assholes out there.
Try to run.
Yeah. So off the double leg, let's say the guy, he starts to get, his legs aren't planted. He starts to maybe move back a little bit like that, just like that. So I have to stay ahead of him here, okay? What I'm going to do, rather than him grabbing a choke on me or, this going nowhere and me giving up, I'm going to follow my hands up to the body here, okay? Now I'm in a body up. Now I'm in a real comfortable situation,
okay?
Especially if whatever, the opponent knows what he's doing or if he doesn't. What I want to do here is I want to keep the hips tight. I'm going to move back a little.
That's fine.
Okay. I want to keep the hips tight. Okay?
Okay.
I'm squeezing. I have the same grip that we were using before. You can use it.
So what do you mean by keep the hips tight?
So I want to get like a dog humping a fire hydrant.
Okay, so your hips are close to his hips. Okay.
My hips, his hips are tight. I'm scooped them tight.
Okay.
Keep me on balance.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's uncomfortable here. It's hard for him to move his hips away. If he starts to move his hips away, I'm going to follow him.
Okay.
So we got to be wary for some little throws and things like that, but most likely I'm good right here. Now he's already, if you can see, his momentum is already starting to go backwards, and that's what I want. I'm going to push with my head, and this back leg here, I'm not going to hook. Okay, that's more like sport judo. I'm going to bump. I'm going to bump right here, and I push with my head, and I squeeze at the same time. And when I come to land, I'm going to land in the same position that John was talking about before. Side control. And
that's pretty awesome. So basically, that was all for the control point was the hips. When you had his upper body momentum moving backwards, then you had him down basically.
Yes. Once the hips are locked and I can push with my head and block with the knee, he's going down.
What do you have to look out for when you're doing that? Is there anything in particular that is dangerous?
His friends.
Yeah.
Yeah. Other than the guy's friends.
But no, I mean, you want to watch out for eye gouges.
Okay.
You want to watch out for bites.
Okay.
You know, things like that. I mean, if the guy's trained in that, you know, he'll go to it right away. But you want to try to get away from that as much as as you can.
So you want to make it happen quickly.
Yeah, we don't want to linger there.
Okay.
For a long time if we don't have to.
Definitely.
You know.
Would there be an alternative from that situation? Could you create separation and go to striking if it wasn't
You
working?
could, absolutely. Yeah, we can make. Yeah. So this is perfect because this is where all the close quarters Muay Thai stuff comes into play. I shoot the double. He's starting to move back. I'm here. Now we're in a situation. Maybe I don't know. He's poking my eye or pushing my face. Now I got the seatbelt. I can do all kinds of stuff here. I can punch the body. I can knee. I can throw elbows.
Okay.
You know, to soften him up a little bit, and maybe he starts to defend that, and then maybe I come back to my takedown now.
Okay.
You know, so it works. They work synergistically.
Right. Absolutely.
You know?
And what my trainer often told me was kicks follow punches, punches follow kicks.
Yes.
As a wrestling coach, you're looking at it like kicks follow punches, punches follow kicks, and they all set up for takedowns.
Absolutely.
At that point. Okay.
It's the
Awesome.
entire system. Yeah.
Okay.
And then when you get into MMA and the total fighting systems, absolutely.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
I really appreciate these guys coming in. I think we got some great content for the channel. I really liked how we talked about kind of reinforcing the little bit small knowledge of striking that I had, how it's kind of really important in the streets, and then pretty much everything that we were just taught was new information for me on wrestling, and I have very limited experience in ground fighting as well, but it's just really cool stuff, and it's cool to see that some of the experiences I've seen in my life and some of the fights that I've been in, this stuff really just translates, and I was like, wow, yep, that's right, I've seen that works, and it's not something that I would teach, so it's not something that I would be able to share on the channel on my own, so it's really cool. I think that we had Nick and John helping us out today, sharing some stuff that they're really very well versed in, and over and above well versed in enough to teach it. So thanks guys. Is there any closing words you guys wanted to say, anything you wanted to share just to kind of sign off in the video?
I'd say just try to stay away from fights as much as possible, especially in the street.
Yeah.
You don't know who his friends are, who's with him, and that's the biggest thing.
Definitely.
Stay away from the ground, but if it comes, you want to know what to do. You want to be prepared.
Absolutely.
And I would also say I think that's good, John. I would also say that when you're training, you can try some things out on your own with your friends, but I would look for trained professionals, to connect with, whether it's whatever it is, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu or kickboxing or MMA.
Absolutely.
Get around good people, and iron sharpens iron. So yeah.
Cool. All right, guys. Appreciate you tuning in. Questions, comments below. If you like this video, if you want to see more stuff like this, let me know. Bone out.